As you know, most of our nation's locks and dams are now over 50 years old. Unsurprisingly, we are experiencing breakdowns across the inland waterway system that cause costly and unnecessary wait times for barges on these rivers. A prime example of this are the recent failures at locks and dams 52 and 53 on the Ohio River, which have caused several shutdowns on this busy commercial navigation route over the past year. Thankfully, this outdated infrastructure will soon be replaced by the Olmsted Lock and Dam, which is scheduled to open later this year after nearly 30 years of delays. My question to you is, what lessons has the Corps learned from the Olmsted project, and how can we improve the process for pending and future projects?
Thank you, Congressman. I think our biggest lesson learned from Olmsted is funding is a major component of that, because if we had funded that project to, I'll say, full funding, then we would be able to assign contracts, award contracts, hold contractors to a schedule, hold ourselves to a schedule, rather than piecemeal the project as we did with Olmsted. We also, a pretty important lesson learned there was the way we actually constructed Olmsted, and using the modeling that we did before to decide to construct in the wet is probably something we would take a look at for future projects.
Okay. Thank you. And for the rest of the witnesses, I would like to hear your thoughts about the importance of community involvement and input with regard to Corps managed projects. Do you have any specific recommendations on how to improve communication and interactions between different stakeholders and the Corps? Anyone?
Go ahead, ma'am.
Well, yeah, I'll give a prime example. So in Pool 4 at the navigation channel, the Corps has a dredge material plan, and I think there's some conflicts with lawyers and how to present plans, and basically just one example of an instance, rather than having a community approach around dredge material disposal and what to do with that, there was a proposal that the Corps wanted to do eminent domain to a third-generation farmer, and basically the lawyers said that the Corps could not consult or notify that public landowner in advance, and so they dropped that plan on their doorstep, literally, as well as their neighbors, and that created an uproar. But what it did show also is that our local communities and our farmers and all those throughout the whole region are removed from the river and why it's managed and how it's managed, and we need to have these continual conversations, and so we know why we need to invest and what kind of measures the federal government needs to do to take care of our navigation channel.
Great. Anyone else?
Congressman, we at the Port of Corpus Christi have to run interference between the community and the Corps often. And what happens is we get phone calls where applications for Corps permits or adjustments will sit fallow for months or even years. And without somebody else to turn to, they'll turn to the Port Authority to assist them with that, and we're happy to do that. Again, we do value the relationship that we have with the Corps at the district, the division, and HQ, but certainly there is room for improvement with the user-friendliness of the Corps with the community.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Congressman, in my written testimony, I talk about a success story when we dealt with our dredging crisis. It took us 10 years, and we spent a lot of time communicating at the district, the division, and the headquarters level, but we've turned the page on that. In the Sulak project, we invoked the same process to try and engage frequently at multiple levels, and we've met disappointing results in the same process.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.